right, it's time to begin. What are we doing here? Where is it? There we go. Let's do some puzzles. Well, looks like we have a back row mate. Looks like we have a back row mate. Not too surprising. Looks like we have a back row mate. Okay. Well, we're definitely not to the hard part yet. This is all back row mates. It's funny how sometimes they just throw 10 in a row back row mates at you. And then like a pretty hard one at the beginning of other games. And you're like, what is happening? So we got another back row mate. And here, I think this check works, right? Yeah, everything's cut off. That works quite well. A back row mate, because once again, can't escape. It's just all the back row mates. This is the back row mate challenge. How many back row mates in a row can you solve? First, not back row mate, but still a pretty easy one. This looks like it's mate because that pawn is holding off the king. And, ooh, do we have our first interesting one? No, just a queen in the face mate. This is kind of interesting. It's this little pattern. The king's cut off everywhere except here, and the pawn is covering that. Okay. The first one where I'm like, okay, what's happening? Let's try to figure it out. Okay, so there are no checks. There are no hanging pieces. This piece is loose. I could certainly attack it. That doesn't seem to gain me much. The material is even. I was looking at taking here. Daniel, what is up? Oh, I'm glad to hear you joined you liked the bonus episode. I really, truly wasn't sure if people would like it or if they would be like, okay, geez, enough. So I'm very happy to hear that you did enjoy it. Okay, what about this idea? Nah, they don't have to take. They could just move. So what makes this one tricky is it seems like it's not going to be an overly forcing move. We're going to actually have to be making a quiet-ish move. I think the move is g takes f5, and then we're unveiling this attack on the king, but even that isn't that devastating. Like, even if we get this check, they can just move over. I guess then we do... Well, we don't even pick up the bishop, right? Because it's not loose. So I actually don't see the answer. I'm not seeing anything flashing, which is kind of surprising for this early on, especially after all those ridiculously easy back row mates. I think I'm going to take here and say I've got a lot of pressure on the king. That just looks really strong to me. Okay, so that is the answer. If takes, then the queen comes in. Yeah, this seems like the answer. Okay, that was a very subtle puzzle for being this early. I'm a little bit surprised at the subtlety of that puzzle. I just realized I'm supposed to play chess tonight, and I've been having some excruciating tooth pain the last few days. But it's not hurting right now. So I'm trying to figure out, do I just play tonight then? Does that mean I just play? The answer might be yes. So if that's the case, I need to fix dinner real quick. So I'm just going to take a second here. Okay. Okay. And okay, that looks all fine. So we're going to get this going for dinner. And yeah, that all seems fine. Okay. Cool. Look, I even say that seems fine when I'm getting dinner ready. Well, that's just part of my vocabulary, I guess. Okay, this looks like the chess.com back row mate. Push him aside and then come in, sack the queen, and get the mate. This is very standard. If you do any puzzle rushes, you have seen it. Okay, so here what we're dealing with is how do we win? We win with a pass pawn, of course. So we go ahead and make our own pass pawn. If they try to make one, it won't make it. We can see if we're in time Pawn will be here. Here's the box. The king's not in the box. You could count it out, but this is one of the values of doing some endgame work, is you don't have to count out. You know the box idea. Boom, you're set. All right, bishop here, check. King goes to e7, and then we come in here thanks to this pawn to checkmate. I think we're gonna win with this passed pawn. I think the point is we go here, check. They can't go here, so they have to go here, check, here, take the queen, take back, and now it looks like we don't have anything, but now we push this pawn. And they cannot get their pawn done in time. So all we gotta do is trade the queens, and then our passer is going to win the game. Wow, they're really going as slow as possible to do this. All right, well, this is queen. They had a much better way to do it, but you know they didn't do it that way. Okay, so we can't go here and checkmate. That's where my brain immediately went to. There's a vulnerable square. Let's checkmate. Not available. What we could do is just take this pawn, pressure this queen. They cannot check, so they can't do anything dramatic. And then we're just getting kind of closer to winning. Other ideas would be like trying to bring the knight in, but the bishop's sort of covering everything pretty well. I feel like getting this rook in has got to be the answer, but it's not super clear how that actually wins the game. Another possibility is pressuring here, but they would just take. So again, I feel like this is pretty challenging for this early. It's certainly challenging in that it feels like we have to make some sort of quieter move here to win. Unless the answer is simply, let's just check and there is no escape. That is the answer. Okay. Check. Pushes the king over here. It's unclear how that would work. I think better would be check here because you can't take him, pushing the king over. Now the rook goes here, knight blocks, and then we take. Ooh, what was that noise? I don't even know. Okay, I thought maybe that was from you all. Hold on, let me make sure everything's up and running still. Yes, okay, I got a very intrusive noise. But Daniel seems to have found it. Okay. Is this just checkmate? Just simply checkmate? Yep, it is. Just a simple back row checkmate. Okay, so the question being posed here is, if we take, can we stop this pawn? That's really what we're asking. Or can we race it even? Because then they queen, it's not with check. We queen, and we have a queen and a rook versus queen, which should be winnable, but it looks hard to win. Can't believe I almost missed the puzzle. Yeah, you almost missed it, Brozinger, but you're here. And that's all that matters now. So what else could we do? I mean, obviously the answer is takes. That just has to be the answer. If we can't take here, then we are in trouble. So we take, they push. We could do something like rook to a1, they queen, and we start checking. And of course, if they were to go here, we would win. But they're not going to do that. They're going to go like here, and then we lose. That doesn't work. We could go here to try to compel that, but that's not going to work either. Perhaps the answer is here, here. No, I think the answer is we have to race. We lose the race, but in the end, we're up a full rook, and we just say, I am confident we can win that. I'm not confident we can win that, but I'm going to claim I am. All right, here's a nice little checkmate. The knight is covering the invasion square, but it's check. I truly feel like that should be a miss. I think they should punish you for not looking at your opponent's position, but they do not. So I go here. Check on either of these two squares. I go here. And now that mate is there, and there is no stopping it. So all we have to do is escape the checks, and then we will deliver the mate. Ooh, okay. Not as easily as I thought we can escape the checks. Because here, 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 here. Wow, how do we even... Okay. No, that doesn't work. How do we escape the checks? That's the real question. Here. 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 Here does not work. It's pawn takes. Okay, so maybe that's what it is. So here. No, because I think they can go here. And then when I go to e3, they can come out to c5. Then what? Then I go to d3. They can check here. This is very hard to escape. I mean, I guess I don't have any choice. I have to move here, so I'll move here. But I'm not fully seeing how to escape this. And again, I only have one move to go here. Oh, well, if they're going to be generous enough to do that, then yes, I win. Hooray! Okay, I think they could have put up better resistance there. All right, so check here, check. And that is mate. King can't get out. Here we're gonna go. This is kind of a tough one. Or is it? Or do we just queen and say, how's that a tough one? Yeah, I think that's got to be the answer, right? We'll just queen and win. Check. Only move. Check. Only move. Get a queen. Yeah. Okay. To check here does not work. That is dropping the queen. Let's not do that. The queen is also in danger. Let's keep that in mind. Interesting. How do we want to deal with this then? Aha. I think we just have mate. I think we just have the sneaky little mate with the knight. Missed that one at first. After queen c5, I think king e2 is the final nail in the coffin. Okay. Yeah, I was having a hard time finding that escape. Check here with the rook is protected. King moves over. And we don't have a mate. Check here with the knight allows for the king to go many squares. And we don't have a mate. So I'm assuming this has to be the answer. It's the most forcing by far. It's the most limiting by far. Everything I'm seeing involves hanging a bunch of things. So it's like, check goes here. Okay. I don't think I like any of those ideas. Oh, let's come back to this idea. Check. Okay, can't go there. So let's say it goes there. Then I could come here, check. Let's say the king goes into the corner. I would win an exchange. It's not enough when our opponent is up quite a bit of material. It feels like it should be easier than this. Oh, quick. So they're up. Yeah, they're up a pile of material. And we are winning. Okay. Man, I just can't get away from rook takes c2, but I also can't find an answer. Boy, I don't know. Looking at like rook takes b3. They just go a takes b3. We take bishop takes b3, and then you don't have a mate coming. Still can get away. I can't find it. I'm gonna play this move. I'm assuming it's right. It is right. Oh my goodness, it's being supported here. Okay, that was the problem. I missed that. I can just go check here and then mate. So this was the key to everything, and I missed that. And then to go that way, we made this way. That was a little embarrassing. Yeah, everyone else sees it but me. White to move down a full rook, but two very advanced pawns. Okay, so what if I go here? And there's no... Oh, there is a check here. But then I can go here and there are no more checks. And if I go here and they take, I get a queen. If I go here... What if they go here? Then I would take, and probably here. So this is going to let me get a queen in a number of different ways. There were a lot of things that could happen there. And that's why they just said, yeah, it's fine, you got it. So this is a fun one. Checkmate. You don't normally get to just checkmate with a pawn like that. This is mate because the knight and the rook combo work together really well. Alright, we're at 30 unscathed. Wow, this should be easy. I'm going to assume we're going to go up, take opposition, and then we're going to sack one of the pawns, and we're going to win. Which pawn do we sack? If we go here, takes, here, we have opposition, we win. And if they go that way, that seems really bad. Then I go takes, we lose. But just taking should win. That mate with the queen. This is not. They can go there. And then I do what? Check there. Okay. Not sure about that. We also have this idea of check here, but I guess not check, but queen attack, and then they come over here and fork my rook and win it. So we're not going to do that. Oh, this actually wins, doesn't it? It's check, comes down, sack the queen, take with the rook. All we need is anything here, and then it's made. So yeah, that's what we do. We just force him over, sack the queen, win the game. Boom. This pawn is pinned. Very important element of this position, because I think we just go bam, bam, and get mate. But it's all because that pawn is pinned. There's a lot happening here. So these are touching. This is a thing. So if I takes with the rook. Maybe better. What about... Yeah, okay. So we have to do that first. So it goes here, lures the rook in, cuts off the queen from the defense of this while hitting this guy. Knight moves, looking at all the squares. Ooh, there's a good one, though. What if the knight goes into there and forks me? Well, then we take with the bishop. They take back, and then we still have our situation. One last question would be, after takes here, is there anything cool with this knight? There is not. So this works. Quite elaborate. Okay, or they just go back and they make it much less elaborate. Oh, I need to check something. Okay. What's happening here? So if we let them get to there, we still barely make it. And if we push this pawn, the square is here, and now the king can't make it. So we have to push that first. Now we have to go get this pawn or we lose. So we go get it. The king's out of the square, and we win. If we take here, king escapes there. That's the first thing I'm looking at. Ooh, very interesting. So it would be like takes here, takes here, takes, and this knight is trapped. So we're able to sack the queen, trade a bunch of stuff, and get there. Kevin, keep up the good run. Let's get 50. You know what? It's time for a little tea to help out. But yeah, it's been a solid run so far. 36. This is where I'm drawn first. Supported by the knight, of course. Then the king goes there. And then we go here, and that is mate. Okay, I'll take it. 37. Alright, so the bishop's covering this. We also have this. Problem with taking here is we lose this pawn. But if we take here, they could also go here. And then they can make their own pass pawn. I kind of like the idea of taking. And then if they take, I go here. They go here. I'll go here. Yes, they'll take this pawn. This guy starts running. It's kind of hard to stop. They only have the one square to stop it. So if I take, they have to hit this square fast. If they try to do it now, I go here. They go here and they lose. So if I go, oops, takes, and then they try to go this way, yeah, so this wins. I don't think I take that. I think I go here. And I still don't take it because then the bishop would end up here. So we will just push it again. And then we win the race. And how do we win the game? So we can't go here. Can we cover that square with this? Yes. So we go here, and we win. This looks tempting. Oh, it's backed up. Okay. If we go here, pulling the queen in with check. I don't really know what that accomplishes. If we go here, pushing him over, and then we go check. And if he takes, we don't actually have mate. If we take on f2, and they take with the rook, maybe that works. So we take on f2. If they take with the rook, we check this way maybe. If they go into the corner, they lose to this. If they come this way, this rook actually can come back. Okay, so what if we go takes this way, goes here, check, goes there, comes out. This is a very complicated one. Okay, what about check, only move, check, if takes, takes, no, here, only move, takes, if takes here, we would go there, and that would win. If here, only move, oh, I was saying takes this way. And it's still the same thing. But if he comes back instead, then we have all kinds of cool discoveries. So we're going to say this works. Yeah, let me go here. Let me get all the pieces in the checkmate. I got another one, 39. Okay. If we go here to check, the king has several places to go. So I think I want to look at something else first, something a little bit more limiting, and then maybe that's the answer. This looks very forcing. Check really can only run to that square, and if does, that is mate. So here they kind of have to just take. Then we take with the rook, then they go there, and then we mate. So yeah, so this works. This constellation of these two pieces mates a lot. Like, that's just a pattern that you'll start seeing the more you do these things. Okay, so we have our passer. It's not enough. Looking at this here, that doesn't work super great. How do we support this pass pawn is the question. If we go, say here, and they were to play there, we would come in here, and then I think we win. They have to back up, we go here, things are golden. But if we go here and they take, and we take, and I go here, and that's quite strong. If I go here and they simply walk in there, then I go back and they go back, and that's a draw. I'm also looking at the idea of taking here, letting them take, and then pushing by here, here. They can make it in time. Maybe that doesn't work. Pushing by. Well, if I go here, and I go here, and I go here, they have to come immediately. And once they do that, I think then I could go like this, and just take this pawn and then come in here. I think that works. I'm a little bit hesitant. This one, I can't see anything better than this. Okay, and I think this works. Because they can't come in here. They'll have in here. They'll have to go 1, 2, 3 to eat it. And I go 1, 2. Oh, this doesn't work actually, because they eat there. Or is the answer here, 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 here? But I think I lose that race. So let's see. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So I win that. 1, 2, 2, 2, 3. Okay, yeah, so this works. Okay, good. My initial calculation was right. I'm very happy to find that one. That one seemed like a hard one. I think that was the hardest one of the day. Check here with the bishop. They block with the bishop. I take. If they take here, I would win. If they take this way, though. That's a whole nother question. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're up an entire rook. Okay. I'm not seeing anything else. I think it has to be bishop here, takes, take with the king. And it's a bit unclear to me how good that is. Like, yes, they can't castle now. I'm really not seeing anything better than this. If I take here first, that doesn't get me anywhere. Can I bring a knight in here somehow to help out? I think this has to be the best idea. Feels like I should be able to get more than just this. Yeah, because then they can go back here. I feels like the best I'm getting is a draw. If I go here, they get to just go back home and say it's not that bad. Ah, but then I go here. Got it. Okay. I go here. Now the queen has to block, and now we get the rook back. 42. Here we go. Ooh, we got unfortunate diagonal territory. Straight out of the chessable course. But it doesn't work. I guess the rook would take. So we do have this check. Goes here. Then what? It's a lovely check. Doesn't seem to do much. What about... No, that doesn't work either. Their queen is under attack, but it's defended twice. Our queen is under attack. Also important to note. The queen check seems like it must be right. I guess on top of everything else, the rook hangs at the end. So what's material like? 1, 2, 1, 2. So they're up a rook. So just going here takes a rook isn't that amazing, especially since our bishop hangs in that line. Aha, I think I see it. Here. We go here. It's actually mate if they couldn't take the piece. They can with the rook, but then our queen comes in and ends it. So this works. I thought that didn't work, but I forgot about our rook sort of holding on to everything. Ooh, more and more I'm like, I need to go to chess night. Like, it's... The things are working. My brain is going. Okay. Holding out this square, but I don't have a check. Like, if this rook was here, I'd feel like we were onto something. There's no checks for my opponent. So if I just put my rook here, and then if I go check, I win this rook. So let's say I go here. What does my opponent do? They can't go there to defend the rook. Looks like they can't go anywhere to defend the rook. Let's say... Yeah, this just works. There's nothing. I guess the question is if I don't get mate, which I'm basically getting mate, though. They can escape there, but with a lot of pressure. All right, 44. Hey, Dr. Skill. Oh, I like that. That's a good name. I imagine you meant Dr. Skull, but I like Dr. Skill even better. Just wanted your take on my current medical situation. The doctor has been writing me hard about my varicose veins and elevated blood pressure. He's calling me fat. Dominic. There are many kinds of doctors, and as my children love to say, you're not a medical doctor, you're just a teacher doctor. So I don't feel qualified to give you medical advice unless it's a condition I have had. I'm not well versed in that condition. Even if I have had it, I don't know how it's affecting you. So my suggestion would be listen to your doctor. They might be calling you fat. I don't know. I mean, my doctor called me fat, so I get it. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough when the doctors give you the real talk and you're like, I wasn't ready for the real talk, doctor. What are you doing right now? Okay. Let's see. This check is the one screaming at me. But he just goes here and doesn't he get away? I don't see how I run him down from there. Also, Dominic asks, where did I get my doctorate? I got my doctorate from UCLA. It is in ancient history, though. It's not a medical doctorate. But yeah, I got my doctorate from UCLA. Really enjoyed the experience. It's been a little bit, it felt a little bit like a bait and switch, to be honest. I didn't realize just how desolate the humanities professorship industry was going to be as I got my doctorate. People did warn me, like, it's going to be hard to get a professorship, but I knew I would do well and put myself in a good position, but even so, it's like when the universities don't replace professors retiring anymore, it becomes very, very hard. Okay, so let's figure this thing out. This does not look like it works. It just doesn't. There's no follow-up. I can't even follow up here. I can't follow up here. What I'm wondering is, does this work? I don't quite know what it does is the problem. It seems like it doesn't do that much. Let's turn our attention elsewhere. Like, this piece is just like, hey, what's up? Nobody's paying attention to me. I'm all by myself. Can I take advantage of that? I don't see a way to. Not yet. Something like this here, but then the king just takes. I was also looking at something like this. And I don't know, the bishop looks like it gets away pretty easily. So that does not look like it works. So I'm at a bit of a loss here. I'm not ready to give up. I feel like I haven't explored everything yet, but I'm worried that I won't get this one. We'll say that. Like some sort of sack? Not a sack. Well, I don't know what I'm talking about. It's not a sack at all. But just taking there kind of seems like the most reasonable play. I mean, taking there with the queen seems obvious to me. Like, that's got to be the answer. The problem is, as got to be the answer as that is, I don't see any follow-up whatsoever. I guess that's not true. I am seeing a follow-up. A follow-up could be here. Rook goes to g8, exploiting this, hitting this pawn. But it feels like f4 might fix all of those problems. So does that fix the problems? Takes, goes there, f4 backing up the bishop. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not seeing this one. I'm going to go here. It just seems like an obvious answer. It's a good move, even if you're in a game. The problem is the follow-up is challenging, and I'm not seeing it. It has to be this loose piece. Well, I am going to go here. It is wrong, and now I want to know what the answer is. Thanks for the advice. I'm going to listen to my mean doctor, even though he makes me unhappy. Hope you have a good night, kind stranger. Have my Reddit gold. All right. Thanks, Dominic. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah. Hearing the doctor's words can be challenging. I am with you. All right. I don't know the answer. What was the answer? The answer was here. I don't even see how that won. I guess I would be able to go in here, and then here, and then here. Okay. And we can still do all this. We go here, and then we take, and we pick up the loose bishop. So I was right that the loose bishop was the key. I was wrong in how to get there. Well, we're at 44 with only one miss. Let's buckle down and let's do this. Okay. King is incredibly vulnerable. And this would be checkmate. But there is a problem. The queen is guarding it. What if we went check, takes, check. The king can only move back and get mated. Or put any one of these in the way and none of them stops it. All right. We get there. 45. Yep. I knew the bishop was the key. I mean, it almost always is just in a real game, right? If there is a loose piece that is often your target. That's a good takeaway from that puzzle. Okay. What about queen takes h2? That's a very forcing move. King takes. Rook h6. And the bishop just snaps it off. So this rook is really not getting in over here. What about rook takes g2? Also very forcing. Trying to break this position wide open. And that doesn't look like it works either, because the bishop, once again, both bishops are being rather annoying. This knight move is intriguing. Let's say they just take with the pawn. They could take other ways. Doesn't seem like that does anything either. So I'm quickly feeling like I'm running out of options here. Once again, there's a loose bishop. The bishop on e2 is loose. It's hard to target. So that's kind of challenging. Ooh, what about knight g4, threatening mate? If they take with the bishop, and I take with the queen, we're once again threatening mate. Let's say they just push. Stop the mate. Then I can come in here with a check. The king moves over. And I don't see how we get him. Okay. New thing I'm looking at is if I take here and lure the king to this square, this actually forks them. But it's backed up by two different things, so I don't think that's entirely relevant either. Takes, check. Takes, no. Boy. Another possibility is to push this pawn to try to both make the rook so it can come over and this bishop can come up. I think this is what I would probably do in a game. That looks like a very reasonable idea. Puts a lot of pressure on your opponent. But my guess is there's something better. That we're really pushing for a really big moment here. I am really struggling to find it, though. I almost think it has to be knight f3. Hitting the queen, threatening mate. They have to take. Let's say they take with the pawn. I go queen h3, threatening mate again, but they can just move over with the rook. So it's there. Okay, I think the answer would be, though, maybe after knight f3, they take, I take back with the pawn, they take with the bishop. Then I play queen h3, threatening mate, and hitting their bishop. They just back up the bishop, and then I'm not threatening that anymore. Whew. This is hard. Boom, boom. There. Okay, there is another interesting thing. This is here. So if we could take here with check, we could win that queen. I don't think we can do that either. So here. If we go here, they take, we lose. Brr, man. I am pretty well stumped here. I feel like my calculation is just wrong. One of these moves has to work. It has to be one of the candidates that I've looked at. There's just no way it's something else. And it's one of these two. That's, I've just gotten to, I know that's the case. It has to be one of those two. This is threatening mate here. Forcing them, not forcing them. They could just push here. And maybe that's the key, because they can just push there. It's not that big of a deal. Or so if I go here, they can't just push there. So I'm doing this, and it is wrong. I couldn't get that one. Okay, it's none of those. Is it the queen sack? No. Is it the rook sack? It is the rook sack. How come the rook sack works? There's a reason I didn't do it, because I didn't see how it worked. I still don't see how it works. It works because of this. We finally found this idea super late after I had already abandoned the rook sack. That is the problem. I didn't see that idea until after I already ruled out a move. I should have circled back to it. Oh well. We only have one more miss to get 5 right. Yikes. All I can say is yikes. That's a tall order. Once again, we've got 2 hanging bishops and, not hanging, loose. A loose knight, 2 loose bishops. We're down a piece, but all of their pieces are spread out. They're not harmonizing well. Can we take advantage of this? Looks like it's just going to have to be a queen rampage play. All of our other pieces are unavailable for this particular one. So how do we rampage with this queen the best? So it feels like it's one of these two to get started. Let's say it's here to be a little more limiting. If they go there, this does not work. They would take me. I need to be able to go... Yeah, what do I do if they go there? Okay, what if I go... Oh my goodness. I was not meaning to move. I was just meaning to look at it. Oh, no. Oh, man. Okay, well, that's embarrassing. Let's go ahead and try to solve it anyway. If I go here, here. Okay, I think this is the answer. Now that we've already missed it, whatever, let's go here. Nope. And what about here? No. Okay, so none of these were right. I was, okay, what about here then? Nope. Am I just totally on the wrong track? This is queen trappable. Is that where we're at? No. Well, I guess it doesn't matter that I messed it up because I don't think I was going to find it anyway. Wow, this is the move. This is the move. And then it's just done? That's just the right answer? Oh, wow. Okay, because it's here. Goes back. And then... goes here. Check. Here. 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 Here, here, here. Wow, that is a very... There are a lot more moves in this position to just be like, got it. You just moved the bishop here. The idea of bishop h3 and bishop f5. Yep, you are correct, Daniel. You are correct. Well, that is going to do it. I think that's going to do it for today. I think I want to go get ready for chess night in case my tooth allows me to go. Suddenly I'm kind of like, I think I want to play tonight. All right, so I will talk to you all later. Have a great one, and I'll talk to you soon. Goodbye.